My CEO laughed when I asked for a raise. He never expected my silence to be his downfall. Hey everyone! Before we dive into today's story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. If you're enjoying our content, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our amazing stories. Share this with friends who love great storytelling. At a work dinner, CEO asked if my bonus helped. I said, "What bonus?" Then looked at my boss. I'm standing in the glass-walled conference room on the 14th floor, palms sweating against my presentation folder. The afternoon sun cuts through the windows, making everything too bright, too exposed. Nathan Cross, our CEO, sits at the head of the polished mahogany table, scrolling through his phone with his designer watch catching the light. I've rehearsed this moment for weeks, practicing in my bathroom mirror, timing my breathing. 3 years of 90-hour work weeks. 3 years of exceeding every target by at least 20%. 3 years of being told next quarter, maybe, or let's revisit this later. My performance reviews are flawless. My project success rate is 97%. I have the numbers memorized. I clear my throat. Mr. Cross, I'd like to discuss my compensation. He looks up slowly, eyebrows raised like I just suggested something absurd. Then he does something I'll never forget. He laughs. Not a polite chuckle, but a full, mocking laugh that echoes off the glass walls and seems to multiply around me. Adorably ambitious, he says, still grinning like I'm a child asking for a pony. Lena, you should be grateful you even have a job in this economy. Around the table, his 5 executives join in. Small, uncomfortable laughs that sting worse than his words. My face burns hot, but I keep my expression calm. I don't argue. I don't defend myself. I simply nod once and gather my papers with steady hands. That silence, that choice not to fight back, becomes the first domino. He thinks I'm broken. He has no idea I'm just getting started. In the break room 30 minutes later, my coworkers whisper behind their coffee cups. I can feel their eyes on me as I walk to the counter. She was too bold, someone says in a voice meant to be quiet but isn't. You don't ask Nathan for anything. Everyone knows that. I pretend not to hear them, stirring sugar into my tea with steady hands even though my insides are shaking. The spoon clinks against the ceramic mug, 1, 2, 3 times. Sarah from accounting gives me a sympathetic smile but doesn't approach. Nobody wants to be associated with the person who challenged Nathan Cross. Later that afternoon, I'm walking past HR when I hear voices through the partially open door. I slow my steps without being obvious about it. Nathan's been redirecting the employee bonus pool again, someone says quietly. It's Margaret, the HR director. Nobody's gotten their quarterly bonuses in 8 months. He's funneling it somewhere, and we're supposed to keep telling people it's budget cuts. My heart stops. I freeze for just a second, then force myself to keep walking normally. 8 months. That matches exactly when my bonus stopped appearing in my direct deposit. I'd assumed it was a budget cut like everyone else. We all did. I sit at my desk and open a blank document on my laptop. My hands hover over the keyboard before I start typing. At the top, I write, documentation. Underneath, I start listing dates, amounts, and conversations I remember. Every email Nathan sent about temporary budget adjustments. Every meeting where he promised bonuses were coming soon. My revenge won't be loud or messy. It will be methodical. Research over rage. Evidence over emotion. Silence over shouting. A week later, Nathan calls me into his office with a casual email, "Stop by when you have a minute." But his secretary's nervous face tells me it's not casual at all. His smile is fake when I enter, like plastic stretched too tight across his face. Lena, I have an opportunity for you, he says, gesturing to the leather chair across from his massive desk. The office smells like expensive cologne and ambition. A chance to prove your loyalty to Crosstech. He explains that the company is pitching to a major investor group next month. The Wellington Fund, hundreds of millions in potential investment. He needs someone to compile all the financial projections and client data, create presentations, coordinate with the accounting team. Someone who can work late, handle pressure, and not ask too many questions about the details. That last phrase makes my stomach tighten. I recognize a trap when I see one. He's positioning me as the fall person if anything goes wrong. A disposable scapegoat with my name on all the documents. If the numbers don't add up later, if investors ask uncomfortable questions, he'll point at me. I'd be honored, I say, keeping my voice steady and grateful. Nathan leans back in his chair, satisfied. He's convinced he has me exactly where he wants me. Good. I knew I could count on you, despite your recent boldness. The word boldness drips with condescension. I smile politely and leave his office. The moment I'm back at my desk, I create a separate cloud backup account under a different email address. Everything I work on for this project will be copied there, timestamped, original versions included, every single file. If he tries to alter anything later, I'll have proof of what I actually created. He's setting a trap. But I'm building an exit door he doesn't know exists. 2 weeks into the investor project, I notice something wrong. Files I created yesterday have different numbers today. Data I double-checked now shows errors, small ones, but deliberate. And my name is attached to every mistake. In Thursday's executive meeting, Nathan projects my work onto the screen. He circles the errors with his laser pointer, his voice dripping with disappointment. These inaccuracies could have cost us the investor deal. Lena, this is unacceptable. I feel every pair of eyes on me. The room is silent except for the hum of the projector. My throat tightens, but I force myself to speak. I apologize, Mr. Cross. I'll fix them immediately. He nods, satisfied with my submission. See that you do. Back at my desk, I check my cloud backup. The original files, the correct ones, are all there, untouched. I compare them to what Nathan showed in the meeting. Someone accessed my computer overnight and altered the spreadsheets. The login history shows Nathan's assistant, Vanessa, using her administrative access at 2:47 a.m. I save the evidence and say nothing. Let them think I'm broken. Let them think they've won. 5. Friday night, the office is empty except for the hum of computers and the distant sound of the cleaning crew on another floor. I'm supposed to be the last person here, packing up after another 12-hour day. As I gather my things, I hear voices from the conference room down the hall. Nathan's voice, distinctive and loud, and his VP Marcus responding. My heart starts racing. I casually pull out my phone and start the voice recording app, then slip it into my jacket pocket. The microphone faces outward as I walk past slowly. The conference room door is slightly open, just a crack, but enough. The bonus fund redirection was genius, Marcus says, his voice carrying pride. Nobody's even questioned it. The employees just accept whatever explanation we give them. Nathan laughs, that same mocking sound that echoes in my nightmares. They're too scared to ask questions. And if anyone does start digging? Well, we've got Lena Carter positioned perfectly. Her name is all over the investor project. If the numbers don't add up later, if anything goes wrong, she takes the fall. She'll be blamed for everything. My hand tightens on my bag strap. I keep walking, calm and steady, past the conference room. My footsteps echo slightly on the polished floor. Every instinct screams at me to burst in there and confront them, but I don't. I walk to the elevator like nothing happened. Press the button. Wait. The doors open and I step inside. Only when the elevator doors close completely do I let myself breathe. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely press the lobby button. At home, I play the recording 3 times with my headphones on, sitting in the dark. My hands shake, not from fear, but from the weight of what I'm holding. This isn't just evidence. This is his entire empire crumbling in a 3-minute audio file. This is justice recorded in his own voice. Nathan calls me into his office Monday morning. My performance review sits on his desk, already filled out. I see the ratings before he even speaks, below expectations in every category. "Lena, I don't think you're management material," he says, tapping his pen against the paper. "In fact, I'm not sure you're cross-tech material anymore." He slides termination papers across the desk. My chest tightens, but I keep my face neutral. I read through the document slowly, deliberately. Then I sign it without a word. Nathan watches me, confused by my silence. He expected tears, maybe anger. Instead, I just smile slightly and stand up. "Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Cross." He thinks he's erased me. He thinks he's won. But in my bag is a flash drive containing every piece of evidence I've collected. Altered files, original versions, login histories, the recording, and a detailed timeline of the missing bonuses. I walk out of CrossTech for the last time. At least, that's what Nathan believes. I disappear completely. No LinkedIn updates. No job posts. No contact with former coworkers. Nathan tells people he had to cut dead weight, and they nod like he's made a smart business decision. But 3 weeks later, things start shifting. CrossTech's biggest client, Meridian Systems, quietly terminates their contract. Then Alliance Corp follows. Nathan panics, calling emergency meetings, blaming the sales team. What he doesn't know, I've been having coffee meetings with procurement directors. Not to trash CrossTech, that would be too obvious. Just to share concerns about financial transparency. About bonus funds that mysteriously vanished. About altered documents during the investor pitch. I plant seeds of doubt, then step back and watch them grow. From my apartment, I monitor CrossTech's stock price. It drops 2 points in 1 week. Nathan releases a statement about temporary market adjustments, but I can read the fear between the lines. I've started my own consulting firm, quietly registered, no flashy announcement. Just me, a laptop, and every piece of knowledge I gained from building his company. The email hits Nathan's inbox on a Tuesday morning. The sender is anonymous, the subject line simple: "You might want to see this." Attached are copies of internal memos showing bonus fund transfers to offshore accounts. Within an hour, a journalist publishes a story: CrossTech CEO under fire for alleged misuse of employee funds. Nathan calls a crisis meeting. I watch the news from my favorite coffee shop, knowing he's probably screaming at his PR team right now. He'll suspect everyone: Marcus, Vanessa, disgruntled employees. But he'll never suspect me. I'm already gone, already forgotten. My phone buzzes. A former coworker texts, "Did you see the news about Nathan?" I reply with a simple, "Just saw it." Wow. I add a surprised emoji, then set my phone down. Through the cafe window, I watch people walking past, completely unaware that I just lit a match under a corporate empire. And this is only the beginning. I accept a consulting contract with Apex Solutions, CrossTech's biggest competitor. I use a slightly different version of my name, Lena Carter, and they never connect me to Nathan's former employee. In my first meeting, I mention I've noticed patterns in CrossTech's client retention strategies. I suggest they might want to review CrossTech's financial stability before engaging in certain markets. I show them public records, nothing illegal or confidential. just dots that need connecting. The CEO of Apex Solutions listens carefully. 2 weeks later, they launch an aggressive campaign targeting Crosstech's remaining major clients. Nathan's company starts bleeding accounts. He fires his entire marketing team, convinced they're incompetent. He never imagines I'm the one whispering in his competitors' ears, using his own tactics against him. From my desk at Apex, I draft reports and strategies. My new boss praises my insights. "You really understand the industry," he says. I smile. "I've learned from watching others' mistakes." At night, I check Crosstech's website. Another executive has resigned. Their office space is being downsized. Everything is happening slowly, steadily, like dominoes falling in perfect sequence. Nathan hosts a private dinner at the Riverside Hotel, one of those places with crystal chandeliers and waiters in white gloves. He's gathered his board members here to reassure them, to present confidence while his company slowly crumbles. He needs them loyal, trusting, and blind to the chaos building around them. What he doesn't know, Apex Solutions is sponsoring the event as part of an industry partnership dinner. They wanted me here to network with potential clients. When I walk in wearing a tailored navy suit, briefcase in hand, my hair pulled back professionally, Nathan freezes mid-sentence. His champagne glass hovers in the air like time has stopped. Our eyes meet across the room full of executives and investors. The room is buzzing with conversation, laughter, the clink of glasses. But between us, there's complete silence. I don't smile. I don't smirk. I simply nod politely, the way you acknowledge someone you barely remember, then turn to speak with a board member's wife about market trends and investment opportunities. That silence, my calm, confident presence in his territory, screams louder than any confrontation could. I see Nathan's hand shake slightly as he sets down his glass. His face goes pale, then red. He excuses himself from his table and disappears toward the restroom, probably to panic in private or call someone for reassurance. I continue my conversation, laughing at a joke about tech startups, completely at ease. I'm not the nervous, humiliated employee anymore. I'm someone else entirely. Later, I overhear someone whisper behind me, "Isn't that the woman Nathan fired?" Another voice replies, surprised, "She seems to be doing quite well for herself." Better than well, actually. I don't need revenge served hot. I prefer it ice cold, with witnesses in designer suits. My phone rings from an unknown number. When I answer, I hear Vanessa's nervous voice. "Lena?" "It's Vanessa. Nathan's assistant. We need to talk." We meet at a quiet diner on the edge of town. She looks exhausted, dark circles under her eyes. "There's an investigation starting," she says, stirring her coffee anxiously. "Internal audit. I'm terrified they'll find out I helped him alter those files." I didn't want to, but Nathan said it was routine. I lean forward. "What do you need?" "Protection," she whispers. "I'll tell them everything. I'll give you access to his private accounts, his real financial records. Just, make sure I don't go down with him." I slide a business card across the table. "Call this lawyer. Tell him Lena Carter sent you. He'll help you negotiate immunity." Her hands shake as she takes the card. "Why are you helping me?" "Because," I say quietly, "I know what it's like to be his scapegoat." That night, Vanessa sends me encrypted files. Bank statements. Transfer records. Private emails. Everything I need to connect every stolen dollar directly back to Nathan Cross. Crosstech's board announces a surprise internal audit. Nathan puts on a confident face, assuring everyone it's standard procedure. But I can see the panic in his eyes during his televised interview. The audit team digs through 3 years of financial records. Every number Nathan twisted, every bonus he redirected, every false projection, it all leads back to him in a clear, undeniable trail. What makes it beautiful? My fingerprints are nowhere. I reported anonymously. I provided evidence through Vanessa's cooperation agreement. I stayed invisible. Nathan holds an emergency staff meeting, his voice too loud, his smile too wide. Nothing to worry about, everyone. Just a formality. But employees are already updating their resumes. The smart ones can read the room. I receive an email from the audit lead, sent to my consulting firm, not personal account. Ms. Carter, your analysis of industry fraud patterns has been noted. Would you be available for consultation? I accept. Slowly, carefully, I'm positioning myself not as a victim seeking revenge, but as an expert rebuilding what corruption destroyed. The article goes viral overnight. An investigative journalist publishes a deep dive, Crosstech CEO falsified earnings reports, misappropriated employee bonuses. Within hours, it's everywhere. Twitter explodes. LinkedIn discussions trend. News outlets pick it up for their evening segments. I'm sitting in my favorite cafe when it appears on the TV above the counter. Nathan's photo fills the screen, alongside words like fraud and investigation. The anchor's voice is serious. Investors are pulling out following allegations against CEO Nathan Cross. I sip my tea slowly, watching the stock ticker at the bottom of the screen. Crosstech's value drops 12% in a single day. A text from an unknown number appears on my phone. This is beautiful. Thank you. It's from another former employee who quit after Nathan cut her bonus. I don't respond. I just watch as the news anchor transitions to the next story. Across town, Nathan is probably scrambling, calling lawyers, threatening to sue for defamation. But you can't sue the truth. And the truth has receipts, thousands of them. Marcus, Nathan's VP, reaches out to the board with his own evidence. To save himself from prosecution, he leaks internal emails showing Nathan ordered him to manipulate quarterly reports. Nathan fires him immediately. The office becomes a war zone. Executives turn on each other, everyone trying to save their own career. That evening, I receive an encrypted message. I know it was you. And I want to help finish this. It's from Marcus. I hesitate, then agree to meet him at a neutral location. Hope you're loving this story so far. Quick reminder to drop a comment telling us your city or country. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this, share it with someone special, and turn on notifications to stay updated with all our incredible stories. He arrives looking defeated. Nathan destroyed my reputation, he says. But I have something you don't, access to the board's private communications. I can show you who knew what and when. Why help me? I ask. Because, he says, you were right to fight back. I was a coward. He slides me a folder containing emails between Nathan and two board members who helped hide the fraud. It's more fuel for the fire that's already burning. I accept the folder. Send everything to the SEC, I tell him. Anonymously. I finally break my silence, but not publicly. I compile everything, recordings, documents, witness statements, financial records, into a comprehensive whistleblower report. I sent it directly to the board chair under a pseudonym, with a note, this is bigger than one CEO. The board schedules an emergency session for the following Monday. Word spreads through the office like wildfire. Employees huddle in break rooms, speculating. Nathan tries to act normal, but everyone can see the cracks. He snaps at his secretary. He locks himself in his office for hours. He cancels meetings without explanation. I remain invisible, watching from the outside as my evidence makes its way through the proper channels. The board chair confirms receipt with a brief email, your submission has been reviewed. Action will be taken. That Friday, a formal notice goes out to all Crosstech executives. Mandatory attendance at Monday's board meeting. No exceptions. I don't gloat. I don't celebrate. I just mark my calendar and wait. Silence, I've learned, is the most powerful weapon. And I've been silent long enough. Monday morning, Nathan walks into the boardroom expecting another routine meeting. Maybe budget discussions, maybe strategy planning. Instead, he finds the entire board already seated in unusual silence, their expressions grim and professional. The screens on the wall show financial spreadsheets, his altered versions displayed side by side with the originals in damning comparison. What's this about? Nathan asks, his voice tight but trying to sound casual. He's still wearing his confident mask, but I can imagine the fear starting to creep in. The board chair, a stern woman named Patricia Monroe, presses a button on the conference table. Audio fills the room through hidden speakers. Nathan's own voice from that late Friday night, laughing about redirecting bonuses and using me as a scapegoat. His words echo in the silent room. If anyone questions the numbers, we've got Lena Carter positioned perfectly. The color drains from Nathan's face like someone pulled a plug. He looks around the table desperately, searching for an ally, someone who will defend him. There are none. Every board member sits stone-faced, arms crossed, staring at him with disgust and disappointment. That recording was obtained illegally, he starts, his voice rising with panic. It was obtained by a protected whistleblower, Patricia interrupts firmly. Along with bank statements, transfer records, emails, and sworn testimony from 3 employees. Nathan, we're suspending you effective immediately pending a full federal investigation. Security will escort you out. Nathan's laugh, that same mocking sound that started everything, that haunted my worst days, finally dies in his throat. For the first time since I've known him, he's completely silent. His mouth opens, closes, nothing comes out. The meeting adjourns. Nathan storms out, shouting threats about lawsuits and defamation. But his words echo in an empty hallway where nobody is listening anymore. I receive a text from Vanessa, it's done. Thank you. I close my eyes and breathe deeply. Finally. Nathan's suspension makes national news. Crosstech CEO suspended amid fraud investigation, scrolls across every business channel. His carefully crafted public image, the confident, successful leader, crumbles in a single news cycle. His PR team quits. His lawyer issues a statement calling the allegations baseless, but nobody believes it anymore. The evidence is too strong, too public. Former colleagues start reaching out to me. Lena, we always believed in you. I knew something was wrong. You were right all along. I don't respond to most of them. Where were they when Nathan laughed in my face? When he fired me in front of everyone? But a few, the ones who quietly helped me, who saved documents when I asked, who testified honestly, those I thank privately. My consulting firm receives 3 new client requests in 1 week. Word spreads that I'm the one who helped expose Crosstech as fraud. People want someone with integrity handling their finances. I hire 2 employees. We move into a small but professional office space. On the wall, I hang a simple quote, "Silence speaks volumes." Late at night, building security catches Nathan trying to access his old office. He's attempting to wipe his computer, delete emails, destroy evidence. The security footage shows him frantically clicking through files, copying data to a flash drive. When guards confront him, he tries to act casual. Just forgot some personal items. But the board has already secured all his digital access. Everything he's trying to delete? Already backed up by IT forensics. The guards escort him out. This time, he doesn't laugh. He doesn't threaten. He just leaves, shoulders slumped, carrying an empty cardboard box. The next morning, the board issues a statement: former CEO Nathan Cross attempted to tamper with evidence. Authorities have been notified. That single action, his desperate attempt to cover his tracks, seals his fate. The prosecutor now has proof of obstruction of justice on top of fraud charges. I read the news alert on my phone and feel something unexpected, not satisfaction, but sadness. He did this to himself. Every choice, every lie, every mocking laugh led here. An investment group contacts my consulting firm about Crosstech's future. They're considering whether to save the company or let it dissolve. They want expert analysis from someone who understands the industry. I joined the video call anonymously, listed only as Lena Carter Consulting. The investors discuss replacing Nathan with fresh leadership focused on transparency and employee value. When they ask for recommendations, I suggest a restructuring plan, employee profit sharing, independent financial audits, and a new CEO with a proven track record in ethical management. Do you have someone in mind? One investor asks. I might, I say carefully. Someone who rebuilt trust after corporate fraud. Someone committed to doing things right. They ask me to submit a proposal. I agree. After the call ends, I sit in my office staring at the blank document on my screen. The irony isn't lost on me. I'm positioning myself to rebuild what Nathan destroyed. Not for revenge, but because I actually care about Crosstech's employees, the ones who weren't part of the fraud. I start typing. This proposal might change everything. The announcement breaks during morning news. Nathan Cross terminated and facing federal fraud charges. His photo, the same confident headshot from Crosstech's website, appears alongside words like misappropriation, embezzlement, and corporate misconduct. Every major outlet covers it. Financial analysts discuss how his fraud damaged investor confidence across the industry. I watch from my office, my coffee growing cold as reporters detail his downfall. The same media that once praised his innovative leadership now dissects his crimes. My phone buzzes with messages. Former colleagues. Industry contacts. Even my mother, who says, I saw that news about your old boss. Are you okay? I'm fine, Mom, I tell her. Actually, I'm better than fine. Nathan's empire, built on lies and stolen bonuses, collapses completely. Crosstech announces they're cooperating fully with federal investigators. I don't smile. I don't celebrate. I just close my laptop and take a walk outside, breathing fresh air and feeling lighter than I have in years. The silence I chose that day in the conference room finally paid off. The board chair calls me directly. Ms. Carter, I'm aware of who you are, who you really are. And I want to apologize for how you were treated. His voice is sincere. We'd like to offer you a consulting contract to help restructure Crosstech. 7 figures, full autonomy, and I promise you. Complete transparency this time. I'm quiet for a moment, considering. I have conditions. Name them. Employee bonuses fully restored with back pay. Independent oversight. And real consequences for any future misconduct at executive level. Done, he says without hesitation. I accept. Not because I need the money, but because Crosstech's 300 employees deserve a leader who actually values them. My revenge transforms into something bigger. Rebuilding a company culture where people like me don't have to fight just to be heard. That night, I draft an email to all former colleagues who lost their bonuses. This is Lena Carter. Your back pay has been approved. You deserved better. You're getting it. I hit send and feel something unexpected, peace. I walk through Crosstech's lobby for the first time in months. Employees I used to eat lunch with stop and stare. Some smile nervously. Others look down. My new title is Executive Partner for Restructuring. I'm here to fix what Nathan broke. Nathan's corner office stands empty, his nameplate already removed. I pass by it and head to a conference room instead. This space is now for collaborative work, I announce to the staff. No more locked executive offices. The employees who once laughed at my raise request now stand when I enter rooms. It feels strange at first, but I realize they're not afraid of me, they're relieved. Finally, someone is leading who understands what they went through. I schedule one-on-one meetings with every department head. I listen to their concerns, take notes, and actually implement their suggestions. By the end of my first week, the atmosphere shifts. People smile more. They speak up in meetings. They trust again. Change doesn't happen overnight. But it starts with someone willing to break the silence. Nathan appears at my office building, security escorting him up because he demands to see me. He looks different, rumpled suit, hollow eyes, the arrogance completely gone. How, he asks, his voice breaking. How did you do this? I lean back in my chair, studying him. You taught me something important, Nathan. You taught me the power of silence. He stares at me, confused. When you laughed at me that day, I continue quietly, I realized something. Fighting you with words wouldn't work. You were too used to winning arguments. So I stayed silent and let your own actions destroy you. His face crumbles. I lost everything. No, I correct him. You threw everything away. There's a difference. He starts to speak, then stops. What can he say? Every choice was his. Security escorts him out. As the elevator doors close, I see his reflection in the glass, a man finally understanding the consequences of his cruelty. I return to my work. There's too much to do to dwell on his downfall. 6 months later, I'm invited to speak at the National Leadership Conference. The topic, When Silence Speaks Louder. I stand on stage, facing hundreds of executives and employees. I tell my story, not Nathan's name, but the pattern. The humiliation. The theft. The courage to document instead of react. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stay quiet while you build your case, I say. Not because you're weak, but because you're strategic. The audience is completely silent, hanging on every word. And when you finally speak, make sure it's with evidence, not emotion. Truth doesn't need to yell. When I finish, the room erupts in a standing ovation. People line up afterward to share their own stories of workplace injustice. I listen to each one, offering advice, resources, contact information. Later, a young woman approaches nervously. My boss laughed when I asked for a raise yesterday. I meet her eyes. Document everything. And remember, silence isn't surrender. Sometimes it's preparation. She nods, understanding flickering in her expression. The courthouse steps are cold under the gray morning sky. I stand in the back of the courtroom gallery, watching Nathan's trial conclude. The jury returns with their verdict, guilty on 12 counts of fraud, embezzlement, and obstruction of justice. Nathan's shoulders slump as the judge reads the sentence, 8 years, plus restitution to all affected employees. As they lead him away, his eyes scan the courtroom. They land on me standing in the back row. Our eyes meet for one final moment. I don't smile. I don't gloat. I simply nod once, the same calm, silent gesture I've perfected over these months. He looks away first. Outside, reporters swarm, asking for statements. I decline politely and walk to my car. My phone buzzes with a text from the board chair. Crosstech posted its first profitable quarter since restructuring. Thank you. I drive back to my office, where my team is waiting with genuine smiles and real respect. This, rebuilding, helping, leading with integrity, this is my victory. He laughed when I asked for a raise. He never realized silence was the loudest answer I could give. And in the end, his own laughter echoed back to destroy him. What an amazing story. Thanks for watching till the end. Please let us know in the comments where you tuned in from. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up, share this story with others, and hit that notification bell to catch all our future content. See you in the next one.